podcast, I'm going to teach you how to get everything that you want. So we've gone over a lot of things the last couple days, and now that we know how to manifest, like what the process is behind it, kind of like the science behind it, I'm going to teach you how to expedite that process. We're going to do a little thing called changing your fucking mindset, bro. Changing your mindset. It's actually a funny story behind that phrase. So I used to work for someone, and that was like his favorite thing to say. Now, if you live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and you ever get offered a job by this company called Meta Marketing, run by Maud of Meta in Robinson Township, do not work there. It is a pyramid scheme, an MLM scheme. They don't take your money, but they do take your time. It is a waste of time. And if someone ever comes up to you at a Walmart or a Sam's Club asking you, like, hey, quick question, do you have a utility bill and they want to sell you an energy supplier? Don't do it. They will jack your price up 3 times what it is, and they didn't tell us that until after 3 months of working there, and I quit immediately. Anyways, back on topic. So one of the quickest and easiest ways to make your manifestations come in quicker and easier is by changing your subconscious mind and changing your mindset and your perspective, because as we all know, your mind controls the reality that you live in, because reality is just perception. It's just what you're looking at. And you're going to want to do this with a little thing called saturation. That's basically what it's called. You're going to saturate your mind with positive affirmations and things that, like phrases and sentences and new thought patterns, to override the old programming. Now, there are many ways to do this. My favorite way of doing it is by writing a lot. I write all the fucking time. I write every single day. Another thing that I did when I first made the real decision to be dedicated to changing my entire life was limit what kind of content I was consuming in any medium. So for months on end, I refused to watch any movies, TV shows, listen to any music, or consume any social media content that was not uplifting, encouraging, and just genuinely positive, because my mindset back then was just so negative and so pessimistic that it was feeding it. Anything that was not positive was just feeding the apathy for life that I had. So I decided to change that. There are many, many, many ways you can do this. You can, like I said, you can start by writing. You can do it by creating a list of affirmations that you say to yourself a couple times a day, like when you wake up, when you're getting ready. Put post-it stickers on your mirror, notes in your phone. There's also actually apps you can use. I use an app called Copia. I just started using it. I'm actually kind of loving it a little bit. It's very cutesy, very cutesy. Hold up. This is what it looks like when you open it up. You have all these little things on it you can do. There's a bunch of different affirmations that you can read throughout the day if you want to. And again, the point of having these affirmations is just to feed your brain information of things that you want to see, things that you want to see change. And I think my favorite part of the app is every single day when you go in to do your affirmations, you can put things that you're grateful for and things that made you happy. As you can see here, I have little things I like to just be a little bit romantical with it. But yeah, the app is called Copia, Copia. That's what I've been using the last few days. It's also easy, if you don't have a lot of time to just sit down and write something, you can just have it in your phone. So that's another tool you can use. You can also use your notes app. You can just write a list of affirmations and say them to yourself every single day. Again, the point of this is saturation, repetition, and you're basically fighting against old programming. So you have to kind of flush everything out and then override it with a bunch of new information. Like we talked about before, where focus goes, energy flows. So if you really want to dedicate yourself to changing your life, you're going to have to just put in some effort in making the decision to really, really focus on what it is that you want. Really put the blinders on. Really just ignore anything that has nothing to do with what it is that you want. That doesn't mean that you can't feel the things that arise when fear creeps in and doubt creeps in. That's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But the goal is for the majority of your energy to be focused on what you want and not what you don't want. You don't have to have a perfectly clear, concise thought process every second of every single day, because that just turns into obsession. You just want your dominant thoughts to be ones that align with the life that you were trying to build for yourself. I saw a creator on here talking about how being whimsical is a revolutionary act, especially in the current socioeconomic and political climate that we are all living through at the moment. It is very, 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 very difficult to remain in a state of neutrality at the very least, because of all the bad things that are happening. We have a genocide happening in Palestine. We have genocides happening in South Sudan. We have genocides happening in the Congo. We have the entire country literally tearing itself to pieces because of an administration that nobody wanted in there in the first place. A dictatorship that's basically in full throttle. We have wars and famines, and just so many bad things are happening. But one of my favorite lyrics from Aurora, from one of her latest albums, was from this song, and it was like, stay right here in the light, my dear, into the love you crave falls in your arms. That's our only choice. It's really our only option. Despite all the badness, we must still pursue the light. We must. We'll continue this in the second part of today's lesson. Welcome to class. I'm going to teach you how to get everything that you want. So in one of my other videos, somebody made a comment. They're asking, so how would you apply this to getting your dream job? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly how you're going to do that. You're going to decide what your dream job is. You're going to decide that, okay, this is my dream job, I want that. Then you're going to take the inspired action towards it. What do you need to get this job? What is required of you to be able to work this job? And I think that's it actually. Once you answer those questions, you're going to do the things that you can to get that job. Apply for it, update your resume, do the interviews, make sure you have all your ducks lined up and all your credentials, certifications, whatever you need, make sure you have all that lined up. But while you're doing those things, you're going to want to use what I was just talking about in the previous video, of saturating your mind, basically using the law of assumption and assuming that you already have the position. I did this exact same thing when I got my job at Raffles when I moved to Boston. So I started working in hotels in 2023. My first hotel ever was Fairmont. But my dream was always to move back to Boston because that's where I was born, that's where my family's all from, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to come back here. And they had just opened up a new hotel, Raffles, in Back Bay, and my boss was telling me, oh, when they open a position for what you want to do, which was be a concierge at the time, I'll let you know. A year goes by, whatever, my boss comes to me, she's like, hey, Jasmine, the concierge position opened. Do you want to work there? At this point, I was ready to leave Pittsburgh. I'm like, absolutely, I want to go to Boston. Now, I had no way of making this happen. I had no money saved up. I had terrible credit, still have terrible credit, and no apartment secured. But I decided I'm moving back to Boston and I'm going to get this fucking job. So I applied to the job, and my boss, knew some of the people who worked there, so she was able to hey, one of my employees, one of my people just applied for this position. You should look at her resume. They did. I did the interviews, and before I heard anything back from them, I told my landlord that I was not going to be renewing my lease. I bought moving boxes. I secured a moving truck. I started packing up my apartment, and I told everyone that was in my inner circle that, oh yeah, I'm moving back to Boston. Now, at the time I was doing all of this, I had no confirmation from the hotel that I was moving to that I'd actually gotten the job. I just assumed that it was already mine. I would say this thing like, oh yeah, I applied for it. I haven't heard anything yet, but in my mind, I already have the job. In my mind, the job is already mine. And no matter what doubts I would feel, I would just rebut it with that. Oh, what if, nope, in my mind, I already have the job. Oh, but what if, no, in my mind, I already have the job. You don't have an apartment. In my mind, I already have the apartment. In my mind, it's already done. That's what you're going to want to do. So while you're taking the inspired action towards this thing that you want, whether or not you have external confirmation of the thing that you desire being the reality you will experience, you are going to assume that it is already yours because, baby, it already is. You already know this. It's just a matter of remembering over and over again that what you want already belongs to you. This has worked not just with this job, but with every single thing that I have chosen to do that I actually wanted to do. I just assumed, well, you know what? Fuck it. I may not have a way of making it happen, but in my mind, that does not matter. The how does not matter. It's already mine, and I claim it as mine. Lo and behold, a couple weeks later, I got confirmation that I got the job. And then I packed the rest of my stuff up, loaded everything up into a U-Haul truck, all me and all three of my cats, and drove myself from Pittsburgh to Boston. And then I stayed in the hotel for 2 weeks while I was looking for an apartment, 2.5 weeks. And mind you, I didn't have the money for a deposit. I just assumed that I was going to be receiving accommodations for living the moment that I needed it. And guess what? I did. And I didn't have to do anything but just move towards it. I said I wanted this thing, and now I have it. I said that when I moved to Boston, this was back when I was 18, I said someday I'm going to live in Boston, and then when I get an apartment, I'm going to be able to see this white bridge I was driving under. I want to be able to see it from my window. Guess what? See that bridge in the distance? Yeah, that's the view from my bedroom window. So when I tell you this shit works, I'm not just saying this shit works. It works. You just have to trust the fucking process, and you just have to move through the process in spite of the fear, in spite of the doubts. I promise you, if you just do the work, it's going to work out, because that's how it's meant to be. That's literally the kind of system that we live in. It's designed to work with you, not against you. There's a lot of things that say that, oh, everything's working against you. That's just to keep you stuck. It's just to keep you from achieving a level of success that reminds you that you've always been free. That's literally the whole point. But when I promise you, I would not be telling you these things if I had not tested it and proven it to be true time and time and time again. Welcome to class. I'm going to teach you how to get everything you want. The final thing I'm going to leave off with today for this lesson is something that I see a lot of people asking, and it's about specifically how to take inspired action, what it means, and how to apply it to your life. When I say inspired action, what I'm talking about is things that you do that align with the thing that you want. And the reason why I say inspired is because a lot of times when you are about to make a decision that will bring you closer to what it is that you want, it's going to be kind of like an instantaneous moment of, aha, what if I just did this? It may not always be a big aha moment, but it's going to kind of feel like an aha moment, like a light bulb clicking on above your head. That's kind of what it feels like internally. Taking inspired action towards something that you want simply just means that the decisions you make, no matter how small, will in some way, in some form, bring you closer to what it is that you want. At least it's how it's supposed to feel on the inside. It doesn't always have to be big steps. It can just be small little things that, you know, your intuition is like nudging you to do. Just like nudging you. Oh, go speak to that person. Oh, go write that down. Go do this. Go do that. Your cells, like on a cellular level, remember things that your brain cannot. And this is like code that was like embedded into your DNA. An example of this is I was listening to a video last night about the concept of time and the science behind it. And one phrase that he said like really stuck out to me, and he said, a sunflower doesn't follow the sun because it sees it, it turns because it remembers. So even organisms, like some of the simplest organisms that we have in this universe, follow their own intuition guided by their cells, by their DNA. A sunflower desires to face the sun, so it turns and follows it, not because it sees the sun, because on a cellular level, at the core of its DNA, through evolution and processes for millions and millions of years, it remembers where the sun is going to be, where the sun is. Think of your desires that you're manifesting as the sun. Even if you can't see it on a cloudy day, you know the sun is still there. It's daytime. Of course it's sun. The sun always rises every single day, even when you cannot see it. So, follow it. Follow the sun, even when you can't see it. Turn to face your desires, even when you don't know that they're there. Because even if your mind doesn't know that it's there, you know. The witness behind knows that it's there. If it wasn't there, you wouldn't be looking for it. This is why saturating your mind with positive affirmations and reaffirming things over and over and over again is important, because it allows you to override the programming that you have been conditioned to believe for your entire life. We've been told that the harder you work, the more you'll get. You just gotta work hard and put in. If working hard were the key, like the real key to success and abundance and security, then people wouldn't be poor. People wouldn't be poor if it was just about working hard. I know people who work so hard. Some of the hardest workers I know, and guess what? They're still fucking in poverty. We have people who've gone to fight wars that were not even theirs in the first place and come back and live on the streets. And you're gonna tell me that they didn't work hard, that also because they didn't work hard enough? I think they worked hard enough. I think the people who come back from being used like puppets in a game they weren't informed they were signing up to play, and then coming back and living in the dredges of society. You think they didn't work hard? I think they worked hard enough. It's not about working hard. And that perspective, that mindset is what keeps people stuck in really shitty situations, because they think, we have been told, that it's just about working hard, get your way out of it, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, blah, blah, blah. No. Because even still, you're still reinforcing the system. You have to render the system irrelevant. You have to choose, actually, for me, this ain't true. And people might call you crazy. They might think you're insane. They might be like, well, you can't just ignore reality. You can't just ignore it. Like, there's no way. Like, you can't. Yes, the fuck I can. Can, have, did, will do, and will continue to do so, because it has worked, and it will continue to work as long as I say it's going to work. So yes, if you're really serious about changing your life, go through your media, go through your social media, go through the things that you are consuming and filter it. If you have to, only watch things like Bluey and nature documentaries for 3 months straight to cleanse your mind of the bullshit that you see every single day, fucking do it. It's your life. It's your life. You're not obligated to subject yourself to the horrors of the world that we live in. If you can't do anything about it right now to change it, work on yourself then. Because when you work on yourself and you get yourself to a point where nothing outside of you can destabilize the you and the security you have built within yourself, then and only then can you actually affect real change. Can you actually do something? And I am living fucking proof of this. That's it. That's today's lesson. Love you all. And also, thank you for 5,000 followers. This has never happened before. I'm so excited.